Greetings guys, Migmatisgolf here with another tips and tricks video. Before we go any further, if you're one of those people like me that was really frustrated with conventional golf instruction and you like things that are a bit, you know, outside the box, unconventional, then this is the channel for you, okay? It's a great channel for all the weird and wacky things that you probably haven't heard from your typical PGA pro. Also do training aid reviews and some other stuff, so please subscribe, tell all your friends, leave some comments, usual stuff. Right, so let's get into it. Subject to today's video is still on the topic of a pivot. Now, as you know, well, you might not know, you might be new to the channel, but recently, you know, I played a bit of golf down in South Africa with a good pro friend of mine, and he noticed that I wasn't pivoting correctly. So I've made a couple of videos about that. And so I've been thinking a lot about the pivot in the last few weeks. And I stumbled across this, actually working on it. So, where to start? Right. This guy here, this tool is fantastic. It allows us to play golf, right? But it's also the corrupter of our swings if our brain doesn't have a decent concept of how this tool is supposed to be used, how it was designed and how it's supposed to be used. So I'll give you an example. If I give you a hammer, I could give anybody a hammer and a nail, and they don't have to think, okay, turn back this much, cock the wrist here, do that. They just instinctively know this tool was designed to smash that nail into that piece of wood there, and they can just do it, okay? Aim, fire. They instantly understand how the tool was designed. It's pretty simple. It looks simple. They can figure out pretty quickly, how do I use the hammer? They wouldn't turn the hammer around backwards or sideways or hit it with the handle, would they? Instinctively, they just know that's how you use it. Very few people understand the same thing about a golf club. They don't really understand how the club was designed and how it's supposed to be used as a tool on the ball. Now that is a whole other video about golf club design. I'm not going to get into that, but basically that can cause a lot of problems in your swing, especially with your pivot, if you don't really understand. So one way to work on it is to get rid of the tool. So like I said, I was fooling around and I came across this and I thought to myself, well, take away the corruptor and try and figure out if without golf club in your hands, you're actually moving your body correctly or pivoting correctly. So this is very similar to another video I made where I had a kettlebell, you know, a weight and the natural movement of the arms. So get in your golf posture. Go watch that video, by the way. Put your hands together, intertwine your fingers, put your hands together, just hang them, let them hang just naturally underneath you. This whole unit here of your arms together weighs about 4 pounds, right? So make a golf pivot, film yourself doing this, and see where these arms naturally swing. See what arc they naturally swing on, okay? If you're making a decent pivot, they should swing on this nice natural arc. You'll find some of you, I'll do this face on in a second, you'll find some of you that your arms will be going out here, some of you will be sucking them inside because you're so used to doing that with the tool in your hand, okay? This is a really common one. You stop turning about here and you try get the club to the top of the swing or where you think the top of the swing just by lifting your arms. That reminds me, I made another good video about this, you know, fear of what's behind you, why we're afraid of making a full turn. But basically, if you find yourself doing that or doing this, it means that you're not making a correct pivot. That's one way of identifying it. And you don't need the golf club in your hands to do it. If you can't do it without a golf club, you've got zero chance of doing it with the golf club. So you need to fix that, okay? You need to get the feeling of these arms just naturally, not trying to put them anywhere in space, just letting your body turn, a good shoulder turn. So practice a good pivot until these arms go to a nice natural spot. That means you're making a decent pivot. Well, it doesn't automatically mean that, but that's one way of identifying whether you're making a good pivot or not. So just remember, this guy is going to screw a lot of stuff up. So you want to make sure that you're pivoting correctly, which I haven't done myself, you know. So try that. Like I said, video yourself, see where you're at, and at least you'll know you have a starting point. Am I actually making a good pivot? Sorry, there's an airplane going over. And work from there, okay? There's no point just try to fix it with this in your hands, because the reason you haven't been pivoting correctly is probably because you don't understand how this is supposed to be used, and it's just a vicious cycle. Anyway, it's enough from me. Like I said at the beginning, please subscribe, leave some comments, let me know what you think, tell all your friends. I'll see you again soon with another tips and tricks video. Later.